John, is what have you been doing in terms of environmental related things? You've been in the landscape architect world?
Landscape architect. I have been a land surveyor. Been working in site design and development for 35 years. In the last 5 years, 2 or 3 of which with Shelby and the Rain Garden Alliance, and studying myself.
And as a result of Russ Turpin inviting me to have a free rain garden design, and then I said, well, wait a minute, and he did the design, and then he looked at me and said, you want what? I said, oh, I want to take some water off the street to feed my rain garden. He said, okay, well, here's the design.
Here's what I did.
So I took that and worked with it, but John came on board through the Rain Garden Alliance and helped out to, well, he did a lot of work, digging the hole and building the berm, laying it out.
We had fun.
So he and I worked together on that one, and then the Rain Garden over at Henry Clay has been through 2 editions of the first one was the emergency, and the second one was okay, we're going to do this one right. So that's the one that's out there now. This is the right one. So without further ado, John Cobb and with Rainscape, and he's going to walk us through the Rain Garden Manual that is available from the Bluegrass Pride and was written for the city of Lexington. So with that, John, and I'm going to scoot that way.
Thank you, Shelby, and good evening. As I said, I'm John Cobb, and I've been a practicing landscape architect for, well, not all the 35 years, but I had to practice for it first to become one. But I've focused mostly in site design and landscape design, grading, stormwater. And so I finally, it occurred to me, or somebody tapped me on the shoulder and showed me that you could combine those 2 disciplines and have a much greater effect than you might imagine. This presentation is going to show you the newest old technology that there is, and it's just revolutionizing landscaping. Rain gardens are working gardens, not so much that you have to put work into them, you do, but more that they work for you 24 hours a day. They're stormwater engines. They inject the water into the ground, whereas, well, we'll see later that after we get finished developing it, that it's very little of it goes into the ground as it naturally does. But you know, it's built to restore the natural processes that we have disturbed in our development of the land. But above all, as homeowners, you want to be sure that anything that's going on in your yard is going to be beautiful, peaceful, maybe contemplative, something that is enjoyable, not purely functional. Well, and that's what these are. These are both functional and beautiful additions to your landscape. Your preference for this workhorse might be something that is quiet and contemplative and peaceful in your backyard, or you might want to have it right out front where all your neighbors can enjoy it, and you'll find that lots of other people are going to enjoy it too. Your taste in planting might be very formal. It may be more natural like this, or maybe more formal like the previous slide, like in this little vest pocket situation here, right outside the kitchen window. You know how boring it is to wash dishes. Well, if you can look out in your rain garden and see all the things going on. It's also right off a patioed area, enclosed patio area that they built in the back. So they have this sited exactly where they want it. But so you may have a more formal look, or you might have a natural look. But it's your rain garden. It's what you want to do. Now, before we developed the places that we want to live, The natural processes of infiltration and transpiration by the plants, that's where they drink up the water, and evaporation, only about 10% of the water that falls from the sky, pardon me, runs off as surface runoff. After we get done with it, in a municipal situation where you might have 75 to 100% coverage of rooftops and pavements, as much as 55% of the water that falls on that ground will run off. And clever folk that we are, we capture it in storm sewers, and here we go. Let's get on to the next. And so this is water that's going that much more quickly into the stream. And this is a more natural situation here. Rain gardens are used in professional and institutional settings, like this one that we built at Henry Clay High School, and they're used in urban settings. Is this downtown?
That's on Main Street.
Okay. Right here in our own city, several rain gardens have been built because they have seen the function of them and have seen the benefit of them. And this is a slide that shows the comparative runoff situations, where in a natural situation you only have 10% runoff, whereas in a municipal you've got up to 55%. In a residential subdivision like ours here, you can have 30% runoff, which is, in both situations, you've increased the runoff from developed land by 20 to 40, 45%. And the impact of this is that you think, well, that's what we want the water to do, is to run into the storm sewer. Well, the impact of that is you have much greater volume of water going from the storm sewer where? Directly to the streams. And this is a volume of water that the streams are not capable of carrying, and it's getting there much more quickly. So streams are impacted tremendously, and this is what kicks in the most, I've learned the most aggressive form of erosion is from stream bank erosion. And so when you have this much water flowing through, it scours the banks and fills the water with soil. And we have much improved design standards for development, but those will only impact properties that develop from now on. The impact we're experiencing now is from development that we've done from then till now. So, well, what can we do? What can Joe Blow homeowner do? I've just got me and my little house lot. These stormwater machines are strategically placed to receive stormwater runoff from paved areas, rooftops, even a lawn area that is more steeply sloped than you want, or that will put more runoff into the storm sewer. And you can capture that in a depressed area to reside for a short while, and with the plants that you put in it to infiltrate into the soil. Now, you can plant whatever plant you like. I mean, after all, it's your garden, but we recommend that you use plants that are native to your area, plants that know how to live where you live, where we live, because they know how to deal with the soil types. They know how to deal with the different insects and interact with them. And the greatest benefit is that they know how to break up the soil. And because what we're doing is to restore the natural processes. And so it's for that reason that we recommend that you select native plants, because these plants are going to be in a situation where they may be inundated, have their feet wet for maybe as much as a day or two. But then, well, here, how long has it been since we've had a real rain? Weeks of dry. So these are specific types of plants that can handle those conditions. And the plants that we put in, known as exotic plants from other areas that don't know how to live here, they're going to have a tough time in that situation. Native plants have root systems that are, this diagram amazed me. Your normal plant like spirea and daylilies, your lawn grass has, it's bred, it has long roots, but they're all tangled up at the surface, because if you're a sod farmer, you just want to scoop up a little bit of topsoil and throw it on the truck and sell it. Well, these native plants have roots that go 15 and 20 feet deep. Well, not all of them, some 6, 8, 10 feet. That these are plants that know how to find the deep water, groundwater, so that they can make it through those dry periods. And in the process, they're breaking up the soil. So this is an amazing phenomena, and another of the reasons that we recommend native plants in rain gardens, because again, what's the rain garden looking to do? It's to infiltrate stormwater. These are digging tunnels into the soil, conduits for the water. So, you've got my interest, I hear you say. But what's it going to take to build this thing? Well, a resource that's been compiled with the efforts of the Bluegrass Rain Garden Alliance and many others concerned with stormwater, the Rain Garden Manual. It will serve as our guide for the remainder of the presentation. There's my garden in my front yard. It's a more, well, I won't say it's a formal garden because it's kind of gotten woolly now.